Hi, this is Nicker at OnlyFabs. Today I'm doing another video about my patented wheel technique, but this time about OTKvis, together with Joost. What's up, Joost?
Yeah, really looking forward to having this video. We tweaked this list quite a lot together.
Yeah.
You actually had some success with it on the road to nationals, and I was just happy to kick your ass with the old list tonight.
Yeah. We played
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I was playing Bravo. That's a chanceless matchup for. That's for the Dutch viewers. And actually, I was during the first RTN. I was really pissed that Don kept on dodging me. He is King Bravo and from the Netherlands, and I would have liked to blasted his ass with some Runechants. Another short recap about the situation. I played I was actually going to play Bravo, but a buddy of mine, Marcel, he said, don't play Bravo, you don't even like it. You're just playing because it has a 50-50 matchup. Do this list that Joost made, which you actually wanted to try and develop, but I just didn't have the time with my work being overloaded. You did have the time, and we actually played a mirror match, the exact 80 cards on the first RTN in Den Haag.
and I remember losing the die roll and then the game.
yeah, pretty much. Also, it was really funny to say pitch 9, make one Runechant. I actually love that part. Okay, so the patented wheel technique. What's it for? Oh well, choose your hero. Get started there. Get a decklist. Find a decklist, not a decklist. And then from there out, figure out what's this list doing, what's its score, what's its side, what's its game plan, and we chose the hero Viserai. We discussed it already. And what's my game plan? How to execute my game plan? And that's what I love about this list. It also forces your opponent to kind of let go of what his normal game plan is, because you don't play Flesh and Blood until you get to 20 Runechants. That's you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, basically, whenever you're attacking and there's a back and forth going on, you will naturally be sculpting your hand. And the heroes that don't actually get slapped in the face or are forced to block with their defense reactions or whatever it is that they've got in their hand, yeah, they'll just be stuck with the cards that they draw naturally.
Yeah.
So you put a lot of thinking pressure on the opponent, because all you do is just block and make some Runechants. Yeah, you're basically betting on them never sculpting their hand.
Yeah, that's actually Joost put all the thinking into the list. I just piloted it, and of course I had some prior experience with playing runeblade. That helped tremendously. You don't forget triggers once you've clocked in enough hours with Viserai. And I did play the OTK Blitz list. That's when Sonata wasn't in. But since Sonata, whew, so the game plan is you build up your Doomsday clock, or you don't lose too much life during a turn.
Yeah, as long as you're alive, eventually you'll win.
Yeah, knowing the maximum output of your opponent helps tremendously. So as long as you're at 20, he can't kill you in one turn. You can always block a bit. Katsu can, but Katsu's scary sometimes.
Yeah, you have to know when to block.
Yeah, actually, we have the cards right here. So it's the build-up. Mordred, Reeds, become Dark Knights. What sequences would you say? How do you perfect those build-ups, Joost?
Well, anything with a Mordred Tide is usually good, because just playing Mordred Tide and a single Read the Runes will already net you a lot of Runechant tokens.
Yeah.
But when you find sequences like Whisper of the Oracle, Mordred Tide, maybe play Sutclave's Research Notes if you're putting it in your main board for a certain specific matchup. followed by read runes. You're basically just looking for cards that block for 2 and play those out on your turn.
Yeah.
And yeah, usually you try to sculpt your next turn's bit with a Whisper. It's a non-attack action, so it will activate your Viserai, and then any runeblade card that you play will just create more Runechant tokens.
And,
So yeah,
and
plan
that,
is basically to just do that a little bit, dig for the cards that you really want to have, find Become the Arc Knight so that you can execute a Mortar Tide turn.
yeah. And actually, the hint that you know what? If a card has block 2, don't block with it, play it. And if the card has block 3,
Yeah.
you mostly block with it until you have 20 Runechant tokens, and then you pew pew pew.
Yeah.
And whoa, one of the cards that we initially had mostly sideboard, but I was boarding him in at first RTN in almost each and every time. But not the other ones, not yellow, not blue, skip those, but red reduce. Pooh.
Yeah, back in the days when you were playing OTK Viserai in Blitz, you really had to have all the cards that tick up your Runechant count.
Yeah.
So you were playing the full rainbow of reduced to Runechant for the sole purpose of, well, creating a single Runechant, because that's what you needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we have Sonata, you need way fewer Runechants to actually win the game.
Yeah.
So you don't really need them, but you do need cards that block for 4. It will stop a ton of on-hit effects. Just putting it into your arsenal when there's like a Reinar or a Bravo facing you, it will help tremendously to stay alive. So it actually does 2 things. It helps you stay alive and it builds Runechants.
And actually, an amazing turn, and this might sound weird, but block 9, arsenal my reduced Runechant, draw 4. I'm happy. Because I've stopped attacks that have been swinging at me, and I've arsenal just reduced the Runechant, so I'm increasing my block potential. Okay, if he plays out a Command and Conquer, I just put 2 cards, block block 6, and his turn is passed. And him thinking I'm a combo deck, attacking that arsenal slot and actually baiting out those Command and Conquers just so they make suboptimal plays because they are afraid of what could be in the arsenal slot. That's all excellent mind games that you can play with this deck, which I also really enjoyed, especially in live games where you can just stare your opponent in the face. Block 9, arsenal, redraw, go.
Yeah. Pro tip, you will never ever want to put your Sonata into your arsenal.
No, don't.
You really don't. No. It's one of the common mistakes that you see. It's something that a lot of the Bolton players tend to do.
Yeah.
Because they're used to having a Lumina Ascension into the arsenal.
Yeah.
It's something that you don't want to do as Viserai, because you can just play one for X's 0 in the early game if you really want to. But yeah, at some point you really have to crack a big one.
Yeah.
To pull off your go turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timing of it all, to be honest, I think it's experience. You just need to get in some reps with it, maybe lose a couple of times, or just be lucky and build massive amounts of Runechants each and every turn, and just blow off someone's head even before you sink below 20. But normally what happens is you have to play this delicate balance. Don't be too clingy with your Sonatas. But once you go to 20 or lower, yeah, you should keep that Sonata in hand. So I'm really also curious how Tails will frost all those cards. I was looking like, oh,
yeah, it will hurt.
Yeah, it will hurt. But on the other, if the meta gets way more controlly,
I think this deck will shine.
Yeah,
it really will.
Yeah, I hope so, because so story time. The first RTN I was playing for someone who had heard about it and had seen it in a line, and he was like, it was also a Bravo player. Once I had my go turn, he was like, how do I stop this? And The second RTN was her first time Flesh and Blood. He was actually his first tournament. He was playing Dorinthia, and at one point I was like, playing Sonata, I draw 7 attack actions, and he's what? What?
Yeah, what
Sorry?
just happened?
How much arcane damage is that? And I was like, yeah. Could you walk us through the combo actually? Because I assume everybody that's watching this video knows what's up, but having a quick run through the sequence.
Yeah, so how this works is that you will correct the Skeleta, which will then give you a discount of 1 resource for the next attack and non-attack that you play. You get a discount for each Runechant that you have. So how this works with Sonata Arcanix is that you actually, while you're about to announce the card that you're going to play, so it will be Sonata Arcanix, you have to define how big the resource cost is going to be. So you just divide the amount of Runechants that you have by 2, round it down, maybe pitch another card if you really want to get rid of it, and then get X up as high as possible. And usually when you're picking X equals 10, 4+ attack cards to your hand is almost guaranteed. So that's usually the point where you can start to go off, because you will just do massive, 22, 24 damage in 1 turn, arcane damage, which is really hard to block. And if they're really willing to block it, all the runeblade attacks will simply have go again. Meet and greet has go again because, out of 20 Runechants, it will not be possible to arcane barrier all of them.
No.
And Rune Flash has natural go again. And while you're at it, every runeblade attack action that you play will just create another Runechant.
Yeah.
So arcane damage really piles up.
Yeah. Also, don't forget your Sonata damage, because the 5-6 Sonata damage also activates your meet and greet. And actually, going off, it's off the bat you're working with 26-ish arcane damage, which is quite a lot for.
Yeah, which is just Sonata plus 20 Runechants plus 1 Runechant that you're netting from playing Sonata itself.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Of course, if there's been a non-attack action before it, sure.
Yeah. Well, if while we're at it, we prepared this sheet specifically because you can spice up the go turn to quite an extent. And actually, the biggest one that I had was become the Arc Knight, pitch a attack, Mordred, and then play Sonata. Because then each and every meet and greets or dread triptych, if you play that one, it's become absolutely filthy. Especially if you're the time skippers, pitching blue for the time skippers and playing the dread triptych for free. Yeah, it creates almost always 6 Runechants, and if it connects, it's 8. So that's.
Yeah. So what's the beauty of this is that once you cast a major Sonata, and you're stuck with some big attacks like a Ninth Blade or a Triptych, or even Arcanite Ascendancy, you will usually have some cards like Blue Meet and Greet that you don't really want to cast them at all, but you do draw them because your X is so high that you simply draw a ton of attack actions. You'll just pitch that minor card to your time skippers to get an action point. Which will ensure your first big hit.
Yeah. And actually, it makes if you have Mordred, it makes Rune Flash only cost 1, because the previous deck always creates 2 Runechants just from the Viserai ability itself. If Meet and Greet hits, it's also free. So that's, you have to make some considerations. The only way you'll get it right is do it a couple of times. Just at one, I don't know, pick 20 cards off your deck, figure out, and then just do it like you're playing a Sonata for 10 plus, or flip 13, 14 cards, and then just figure it out. Actually, damage optimization from your go turn is also required to win matches.
Yeah, you can usually. Sometimes it's better to play in the Lightning Strike for 5 and go again, to make sure that you can swing with your reaping blade for free again.
Yeah. I also love that one that you
So
said,
it's just
because it won me a match. That at one point it also pitches for Reaping Blade in line of strike. So
yeah.
don't ever forget that, because I won at the because of those last 3 damages and the 2 arcane damage.
Yeah, it can make a ton of difference.
So with regard to the equipment, it's almost always this the fridge of Skeletal, Skullcap, Grasp.
Yeah. Usually you complete the fridge with iron rod boots. But I think that the time skippers, they're so versatile that, yeah,
Yep.
it's debatable whether you want to have that 1 additional HP or just want to have something to set up a big go turn.
And it's
Or
not just
even
the go
just
turn. Yeah.
pitch blue and pitch blue, play double Rita runes. Or like Martyr Tide, pitch blue, play double Rita runes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, sometimes it just happens, and then each read is 6 rune jumps. Oh, if it's a red one, but just the Viserai triggers also, it all adds up. Actually, one thing, as I play Bravo and I always main deck Mangle. I don't know if a lot of players do it, but if you're playing versus Bravo, just keep that Skeletal off the table. Same with playing versus Dash. Don't use it. Don't be tempted with it. If they somehow boost for magnetic shockwave, you'll cry.
It's definitely not worth the 2 HP. You will just only block if you really have to stay alive.
And actually, but that's true for Flesh and Blood, but also for this deck. Use that equipment late, or if some kind of attack will kill your game plan on the spot, like a crippling crush or something with 2 Sonatas in hand and already 1 in the graveyard or something. But
yeah, but even with a Sonata in the hand against Bravo, I will just take the hit.
Discard the other cards.
I mean, there's 40 life to play with. You can take a couple big hits.
Yeah. What the actual cores of the deck and what you always play around with is stuff that makes Runechants and those unconditional go again attacks. But the best part is that those block for 3 during your setup, and once you go, they attack for whatever. It's just that you have 6+ attacks to work with. Or well, let's be honest, you mostly attack 4 times.
Usually, yeah, sure.
Yeah, just 2 pitch. And
if you've got some time, it can be like 6 or 7 times, but yeah, usually 4 or 5 hits.
Yeah. Which is normally sufficient, because don't forget, you're doing 25 arcane damage easily, and then each and every attack also adds arcane damage. If Mortar Tide is added to that chain, then it's each and every attack is order of magnitude 5-6-ish. So that's
So if you hit like with 4 attack actions and finish it up with your Reaping Blade or an Enlightened Strike, it's just 6 to 8 additional arcane damage.
Yeah.
So then you're already above 30 something. Yeah.
30 arcane damage, and you got 20 order of magnitude, right? So it's 30 arcane damage and 20 physical damage, ish. And normally they have 12 luck in hand and their equipment, but you keep the chain alive. You don't break it up. It's just you weave all those attacks together, so they only block for 2. If it's a Durintia or something, it's like 6. The maximum which it can block.
Can be 6. It can be 6 or 7 if they run a full fridge. But yeah.
Mostly it's
you really want them to get their equipment committed to the combat chain, so that they will just block once and never again.
Yeah.
So when you've got the luxury, you will always lead off with rune flashes and not beating greed.
Yeah.
Well, if you do really want to break the chain, or they're tempted to block late. Meet and greet has an on-hit effect that's really relevant, because it will create another Runechant token. So what I usually like to do is just mix them up a little bit. Play a rune flash first, then play meet and greet.
Yeah.
Then another rune flash, and then something else.
Yeah, and especially if you meet and greet and then rune flash, and okay, they can see all the attacks, but it makes it difficult for them. And it's not like you have to block this multiple times during a tournament. So the experience of blocking it is also lacking. And then okay. Oh, you played a mortar tide. Oh, 4 Runechants. Oh, that's yeah. Then I'm pretty dead, but I was already pretty dead. Yeah, man, you're pretty dead. So,
Yeah, what would be even easier for you is if they do run a Runechant and start to just pitch cards inefficiently.
yeah.
It's something that you see inexperienced players do all the time. So if you're facing OTK Viserai, just skip out on the Runechants. It will not save your life.
No. Stop the physical damage.
Just take them like a champion.
Yeah. It's easier. Although in our game, you don't always have to kill them in that one turn. They use all their cards. They use everything. And after that, you're just a regular yield Viserai who can play one non-attack action and then an attack action, and actually there's already arcane damage coming at your face and that physical attack.
Yeah, if you just pitch to your grasp to create a token, then swing with like a Dread Triptych, it's already been a good turn.
Yeah.
It will probably be enough to finish the game, either the same turn or the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Non-runebladed cards that you should always play. Whispers.
Yes, Whispers is ridiculously good because you're really digging to find your key combo pieces.
Mm-hmm.
A Whisper will allow you to just do that. It will also start as a non-attack action, so you can follow this up with a read the runes, find whatever card you need, and just create that one additional Runechant token. And over the course of a full game, it will really add up.
Yeah.
It's like for the Magic players out there, this is just Flesh and Blood's brainstorm.
Yeah.
All the decks that could run this should run it. It's ridiculously good.
Yeah. It's also been run. It wasn't run in Baldwin combo first, and then was quickly added to it. So the other cards here, Gorgonian Tomb, I like it just because of the Gorgonian Tomb read runes, maximizing your runeblade potential. Remembrance, shuffling back, making the balance perfect. I like it. It saved me a couple of times. And Time Snap Potion also for just sometimes arsenaling it, just baiting Command and Conquers, or just block 9, play it, snap it. I like it.
Yeah, you've got plenty of time to set up, so yeah, why not just run 1 or 2 time snaps or yeah. It will also help tremendously against Prism. Usually you will just use your weapon to basically hit all the auras that they're having, the Spectre cards.
Yeah,
because your Runechants won't pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they will just stay on the table. So it will not stop your build up, but you will be stopping Prism from building up. But you can't always rely on your time skippers.
Oh.
So sometimes against Prism, it's good to just drop a time snap potion, flip red and yellow cards, and just finish them on the spot.
Yeah. Although I must say that actually it was pretty tough facing Prism when they went full out aggro and then just present 14-ish damage each and every turn. Your block potential is 6 to 9 each and every turn. So just doing some quick math, you have 8 turns before you're dead. Because 5 is coming over each and every turn. So that can be really rough. If you're facing a library, it's just like, oh. But
yeah, that's why you will always play additional 9th place against Prism.
Yeah.
And it's debatable whether you could run cards like Yellow Raging Onslaught. Because in your go turn you do have to pitch a lot for both the Rune Flashes and the meet and greets.
Yep.
And having a yellow card with 6 more power, I'm not sure if it's the best. I've tried it. Had some success with it against Prism, but not so much against other decks. So yeah, it really depends on your meta.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you have a Prism heavy meta, I would venture away from this deck and maybe play some aggressive version of it. But if there's, I don't know, a bold win, I'm still inclined that you could win. I think so, because they give you so much time. I did lose a bold win match, but that's because of something else, and we'll go back to that later. But yeah, the deck is a blast to play, but it has some matchup where it's just like, okay. But sometimes you lose with them on 40 life, and sometimes you win with yourself at 1 life, and it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, it's a deck with ridiculously high highs and well, pretty deep lows.
yeah. But, if you're playing, if you're looking at the non-runeblade cards, do mind the block though, because of the situation that I had mentioned. Yeah, you got to keep an eye on it. It's something to consider. What's the side? It's what we went back and forth with, but having 26 attack, the unconditional go again attacks mostly, 30 non-attacks, and then 1 remembrance plus 3 defense reactions. That's about it. Maybe you side in some more time snaps, some less. Arc Knight.
You could vote them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
One sideboard card that I really like is the Chains of Eminence.
Oh.
What you usually see chain players do is they will play Husk to absorb the first big hit that you do. So what I really like to do is just put Chains in my arsenal for the go turn, name Carrion Husk, and have a guaranteed 6 damage coming in. Because they will not be able to block with their 6 block harness.
Yeah. I've
and
been
also,
yeah. I also played it versus Baldwin, just naming Lumia Ascension a couple of times. Yeah, I didn't.
It will just buy you 1 turn. Yeah.
Although,
and then there's there's always big cards that you lose against, and if you know that you really need one or 2 more turns to set up, just naming that 1 card ensures that you will actually make it to your go turn.
Yeah. Versus Chain, it's also an option just to play it out and name either Riftbind or Siege, just to. And then they flip the other card that you were thinking about not naming or naming, and then I mean, you're kind of sad, but it's a skill-intensive card, and if you know your meta because you see the same guys quite often each and every turn or tournament, then Chains of Eminence. It's not in here, but it's definitely one banger of a sideboard card.
Yeah. This is like we just mentioned, right? There's high highs, there's low lows. This is probably the card that contributes to that the most.
Oh yeah, I had 8 Runechants, no 7 Runechants turn 1. Then I draw a shard with no pitch outlet, and I even came 1 short because else I would have just pitched 9 to the gloves just to get rid of that card, but was Mortar Titan and another red card, so I just didn't have the pitch, and I lost on the spot, and my opponent was like, what the hell is he doing? He's just keeping those 2 cards in hand. Yeah, I can't block with shard.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So if you have shard turn 1 with a Mortar Tide and some pitch outlet, it's ridiculously good. If you have it happen to have it in hand on your go turn, because you drew it the turn before, it's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
If you draw it somewhere mid game, yeah, probably not so good, because you'll be blocking heavily. You'll be playing cards to dig for the cards that you need, and if this card is stuck in your hand, yeah, it's just terrible. Yeah. You'll almost be tempted to put it in your arsenal to beta command and conquer.
No.
It's really that bad. So
yeah,
it's probably one of the coolest cards because of the it really increases your potential.
Yeah.
And it will enable ridiculously first and second turns. It's just not worth it.
No.
It will just
it's the reason why you play Sutcliffe, right? It's the reason why you actually in the first list Sutcliffe was in it.
Yeah, and I actually even upped the amount of Oath of the Arknights just to be able to create 2 Runechants using Arc Knight Shard and Oath of the Arknight.
Yeah.
Well, in reality, you'll probably, well, just think of anything else and do that. It will probably be better than creating two Runechants and
Yeah.
wasting more slots.
Yeah. I traded for my Arknight shard, so it didn't hit my wallet that badly, but it did hit it. So I had to play it. But to be honest, I was also considering Feindal's Tunic, Oath of the Arknights, just to make this one card good, because if it's good, it's but if it's bad, it's not blocking, it's stuck in your hand. So most likely I'll run some balls to the walls aggressive blitz version of Viserai, and then enjoy it. And that's where it's in the absolute strength, because it's each and every time it's pitching to the gloves. But
It's cute. It will make you look cool because it's an expensive card, but that's about it.
words of wisdom. Speaking of words of wisdom, be gracious in defeat and humble in victory. Go start building your own version of your own favorite hero, but match it to your local meta. So just like I said, if there's a ton of Prism, look away from this deck. But is Viserai your favorite champ? Then build the aggressive version of it. And if there's a ton of slow Bravo Ace decks, build it and win with it. Do you have anything to add for words of wisdom?
Go eat those Bravos.
Yeah. Have fun with oh yeah, that one note for with regarding to Aile, Tales of Aria. Only 5 generics. I'm not expecting anything to be added to the deck. The deck list is already pretty tight. I'll add the last list that we played at the RTN event. That's about it. See you guys. Thanks, Joost.
See ya.